What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Kick-Ass Podcast. We are back here today to discuss a little bit of a mixture here. We're gonna do a WrestleMania preview, but I'm saving that for a little later this week, and I'm gonna be bringing on a special guest. So very pumped for that. But what I wanted to do, and timing is both great and sucky right now. There is a interview that Cody Rhodes is doing live with Ariel Helwani, or it's airing live on the MMA Hour. Sorry, my dog is in the background again. Hour on YouTube. So it's actually started about closer to probably closer to an hour ago now. I'm not sure exactly where because I didn't even realize there was one happening today with Cody as well. So I need to check out that schedule because Ariel has, I mean, he goes from Punk, he had Rhea Ripley on there as well, and then now he has Cody Rhodes, and of course they have brought up AEW and stuff like that. So we'll get into a couple things that at least have made its way to the Twitter feed, and some statements and quotes from Cody, in a minute. But there was also something else that was I didn't see the full clip for it. I saw about a minute or closer to 2 minutes rather of a situation that Ronda Rousey was speaking with. I believe it was News Nation with directly. I'm gonna get it pulled back up here because obviously I don't want to misquote anything in that regard. But it was News Nation. So apparently Ronda Rousey did an interview with them. And again, I haven't seen the full. And it looks like so this post that I'm seeing was from Russell Ops on Twitter. They posted it about 16 hours ago now. So I'm assuming the interview came out probably late last evening. And it looks like it was with Brian Inton. And I've definitely seen him on some other cases. Um, so I'll definitely have to be checking out that full interview. But there was a segment, which obviously is what I'm referring to now, that's making its way on Twitter that Ronda spoke about. And it looks like they were speaking regarding the culture of WWE behind the scenes. Back when obviously she was there and when Vince was still in charge and things of that nature to try to, I guess, gauge more. And again, I haven't seen the full interview, so I didn't see his direct line of questioning or how it was directly brought up. This is just the clip from Ronda Rousey herself. But essentially what she says, and again, it's a interesting e- it's a interesting story to even bring up. And at first I wasn't going to, especially since I hadn't seen the full interview that she did. But just seeing this clip and seeing that the gentleman, the wrestler that was involved in this situation, has already released a response and a comment back on Twitter. So that's why I at least wanted to bring it up, and too because it just there's just so many things with it. But of course, I'm referring to the Ronda Rousey segment, like I said, that she did with Brian Enton on News Nation when she named Drew Gulak in an incident where he grabbed the string of her sweatpants backstage. So essentially, what she said was that she was backstage and she pretty much goes on to state that she was either standing or walking backstage with Bruce Pritchard, excuse me, I think another writer and another gentleman or individual that she forgets their name of. And Drew Gulak walked up to her, or either walked by her or walked up to her. She didn't know he was there until the incident happened. But then he ended up grabbing the drawstring on her sweatpants. She freaked out. She yelled, "What?" Pretty much like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he tried to backtrack. She said, and he was saying, "Oh, like I'm not sure exactly her wording. So forgive me, but essentially that he didn't mean to, or just backtracking or trying." Then again, this is her words. That he was trying to downplay it or pretty much apologize, but not, she didn't say that he apologized type thing. Um, and after she addressed that story, she stated pretty much that she was just kind of like surprised and in shock how no one else thought it was a big deal. No one else said anything around her. And pretty much how just accepted and okay that everyone was with what had just happened. So that sucks. You know what I mean? Like that's I feel for her, you know? I feel for anyone who's in a situation where they're obviously uncomfortable. It's a human being, first of all, you know? That's I think a basic uh feeling or reaction, but I obviously wasn't there. All of us weren't there except for the individuals who were, you know what I mean? And she, whether it was intentional or an accident, she was uncomfortable with it. And for her to, apparently this happened in 2022, and for her to still remember it and to still be that bothered by it, obviously, you know, it sucks, you know what I mean? And again, I don't know either of them, obviously, again, and I don't know Drew Gulak, but I would hope that someone wouldn't try to do something in a hallway in front of a good amount of people, it sounds like. So, I think it's just best though that first of all that she's out of the environment, that she's out of WWE and she's just out of, yeah, just that environment period. I think she had mentioned that she never sees herself going back unless they make major changes backstage and with pretty much like the way it's run, which they seem to be doing from everyone who's said anything since, you know, the big changes have happened, with Vince McMahon no longer being there and things of that nature. I think, but I also don't think that they're like begging or really needing her or like hoping that she does come back. I mean, I'm sure they would like to have her back, but at the same token too, they're not. I'm sure they're not sitting there just hoping that she's gonna call it type thing. So I think it's best that she is away for now and she's able to pursue whatever she's doing right now. Honestly, I'm not really sure what she's up to now. I used to follow her a lot. I used to be really a really big fan of hers, but it just kind of fell off. Um, but yeah, I think like I said, it's best that she's away. But I do want to reference and bring up obviously Drew Gulak and his response to everything. He had a pretty I don't wanna say simple, but a pretty straight and to the point response. I'm gonna pull it up here. And I believe he released this earlier today. I have a screenshot here, but I'm pretty certain it was a few hours earlier today. But he stated, backstage at a WWE event in 2022, I saw Ronda talking with a group in the hallway. I stopped to say hi and shake all their hands. In an attempt to shake her hand, I accidentally touched her drawstring. Complete accident and one that I had apologized to her for the mishap. So again, I it just sucks, you know what I mean? I feel like I said, I feel for her, and I feel in a way I feel for him too because I don't know. I again, it's not my business to speculate who did what, who's telling the truth. How big of a deal was it? Was it minor? Was he pretty obviously going for the drawstring? I again, without video evidence, without us being able to see specifically it is, you know what I mean? And not to downplay it, it is in the sense that we have to take both sides of the story and just kind of go from there. But again, I hope that obviously since it is still bothering her and still very much on her mind, I hope that she is getting help. You know what I mean? I hope that since it is bothering her to this degree that she gets whatever guidance or therapy she may need. And therapy is great for everyone. You know, side note, therapy is I think very much has a underrated and has a bad rap. So I'm not gonna get on that soapbox here right now because that'll be a much longer show. But again, I just hope the best for everyone involved, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Moving on to a little bit lighter things. And again, we're not gonna be able to do a full review here because it's still happening as I'm sitting here recording. Um, but Cody Rhodes sat down with Ariel Helwani to talk. Not even to just discuss WrestleMania, which obviously they did, but the section that I have here that they have already discussed. And again, I think by the time I caught on to it happening, it was about an almost an hour into it. Maybe not that long, but They definitely already been chatting for a bit. But the transcription that I'm reading here is from the Sportster.com, so shout out to them. A couple highlights they have at the top: Cody Rhodes signed a new WWE contract, but he won't disclose the length of time. He feels lucky and responsible in his spot at WWE, despite not winning the title at last year's WrestleMania. And Rhodes did not consider returning to AEW, valuing the opportunity and responsibility given at WWE. The article goes on to state, in 2019, former WWE superstar Cody Rhodes shocked the world when he helped, along with Tony Khan and the Elite, to create AEW. For 3 years, the American Nightmare competed in All Elite Wrestling before shocking the world yet again when he came back to WWE in 2022. So, with his WWE contract coming to an end and having had to endure the disappointment of WrestleMania 39, did he consider going back to AEW? Cody Rhodes was the guest today, again on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour, where he revealed that he had signed his new WWE contract, but he wouldn't disclose for how many years it was. They go on to quote him. He says, excuse me, and this transcription was actually from Fightful, so shout out to Fightful as well. No, it's not in any way a negative. No, it's not in any way negative towards them. It's just, I know I didn't win the title at WrestleMania 39, but I was in the spot I always dreamed of, and I know how lucky I am to be in this spot. When I see a poster, and there I am front and center amongst other unbelievably talented people, when I see the cover of 2K24, when I see the responsibility, they didn't hand me the exact ball and say, "You're the quarterback," but they certainly gave me a lot of responsibility. I feel it would have been against my being because I was slotted there. You helped put me there, and now I'm making something of it and growing it beyond what you thought it could be. I wanted to keep doing that for them. It didn't just cross my mind. Oh, it just didn't cross my mind. Sorry. It just didn't cross my mind again. Not in a negative way towards any other places. This is what I've enjoyed doing. So again, he's pretty much just confirming that it never even crossed his mind to jump to AEW or TNA or New Japan or leave or just go back on the indie scene period and just bounce around. Um, which would have been fucking wild, right? To see Cody Rhodes at this level of stardom, just leave it all and just go back on the indie scene. Not even to AEW, but like to the indie scene. Could you imagine? But again, I'm not surprised there at all. Like I would have been shocked if he did consider leaving. But again, another poll that we have from the interview is regarding Cody Rhodes, of course, if he was asked rather about CM Punk's comments on AEW. So Helwani also asked for codes Cody Rhodes' opinion about what CM Punk had to say on the MMA Hour and about AEW and Tony Khan himself. Helwani asked if Rhodes agreed with Punk's assessment that Tony Khan is a nice guy but not a boss, to which Cody said no, without adding much else. He also said that what happened between Punk and the Elite was the result of miscommunication, that he loves everyone involved. And then the article just goes on to state that it was interesting that he didn't mention how long his contract was for, which I'm not really surprised by that, to be honest with you. Cody still is a wrestler true and true, and he like Punk is one of those guys from still back in the day in that era where they don't like to really pull the curtain back too much, but they'll give a little, you know what I mean? But they want to keep some stuff private, which I totally understand. My guess would be minimum 3 years, max 5. I don't probably, yeah, I mean, I don't see why he would want to sign like a 10-year deal or anything like that. But I mean, depending on the money, shit. um, but yeah, I'm not surprised that he, again, like I said, didn't even contemplate going back to AEW, at least right now, or going anywhere else for that matter. But speaking of Twitter, we did have a MJF sighting for the first time, I believe, in 2024 on Twitter. The Rock is apparently buying a piece of artwork from MJF's ex, the girl that I believe he was engaged to last year, and then they broke up, and I believe now he's with one of the backstage announcers at AEW. I'm blanking on her name. But MJF states that I just had this pulled up, so I have to just throw it in here. And I mean, it's not that far off from Cody Rhodes, right? Like they're very much intertwined. And then he could be intertwined, with the whole finish your story, being so close with Cody thing. If he was, a true free agent in the war of 2024, the bidding war, right? wouldn't that be fucking insane? But I'm not even gonna go on that route, but that'd be fucking wild. But MJF tweeted, he quote tweeted The Rock saying, "First, you steal my glorious idea to lash Cody. Now you try to cop art from my ex. I'm a fan, but please leave me alone, Dewey." um, so it's great to hear again from MJF. He is sorely missed, but I'm very, very happy that he's taking the time that he needs and deserves and not rushing anything because my dude was beat up, man. He was feeling it and he had put his body through a lot. So he deserves all the time off that he's getting and then some. But I was gonna pull up here to see if we had any more Cody Road tweets or not tweets, but polls and anything else from the interview. But there was a clip that I did see. He ended up getting him and Seth Rollins matching Rolexes that engraved had the number 40 engraved on them just because of how much they've done for each other's career and yet kind of like a thing where acknowledging they don't have to be friends but they're connected and pretty much just Cody showing that how grateful he is for Seth. So I think that's pretty dope and I mean shit say less about a Rolex, right? But again, just a couple more things. Cody and until I see the interview and until the interview stops until we get a full breakdown of it. Cody Rhodes also disagreed with CM Punk's assessment of AEW. He says he's extremely proud of what the Elite, Tony Khan, and others have built, what they've done for the industry, which no surprise there. He did mention though that I believe it was something about a scapegoat or not a scapegoat, maybe. Oh, I hope I can. Maybe I'll find it here. But in regard, oh yes, perfect. So Cody Rhodes had at one point stated that his wife. I'm gonna pull it up here really quick. So yeah, he says that his so essentially Brandy, of course, everyone knows Brandy. um, he says that his wife Brandy got hugely scapegoated in regards to AEW and the departure, and that it still pisses him off to this day. But that last year at WrestleMania, she felt the love again, and then he starts to get choked up, and that it really, like, pretty much that he couldn't do this without her, and he couldn't play this game type of thing without the support that she gives to him, and that we will be seeing Brandy or she'll have a presence at WrestleMania is what he said at first. And then Ariel was like, "What does that mean? Are you like what what type of involvement type shit?" And Cody's like, "I can't tell you, and he said you will see her." So whether that means she is going to accompany him to the ring via the whole entrance and things like that, or if she's just going to be ringside with the fam like last year, with -1, and of course mom's going to be there, Mama Rhodes, Cody's sister Teal. I wish Dustin Rhodes could be there, man. Like, if there's any way, not even to be involved with anything, but just to be there sitting with the family, like just front row, and again, no involvement, no angle, no nothing with Dustin. I think that'd be so fucking dope. But obviously, I get why Tony Khan especially may not be wanting to be so willing to allow Dustin to go over there. But Tony is a really great guy, from what everyone you talk to says. About him and I don't think that's ever been a question with everything that everyone says about Tony Khan. I don't think that's ever been in doubt. In the brief interaction that I had with him, he was dope as fuck, and like you would never think that he's this billionaire. So because he seemed like just like a normal dude. But I think that I think especially with the whole family aspect and everything, guys. Like, I think Brandy's gonna get involved somehow. I think Mama Rhodes obviously is gonna. I think it's gonna be pure fucking chaos. I'm not gonna get into my predictions and my takes yet because we're gonna save that for a show later this week. But y'all, I think Brandy's gonna have something to say. I think she's gonna have something to say at Mania. Um, I'm trying to see if there's anything else, but this is a random one. But the best financial advice Cody Rhodes has ever received: spend it now, you'll make more later. Fucking facts, bro. No, I wish. um, but again, yeah, just some more confirmation with Brandy and some. advice that John Cena gave him after losing at WrestleMania last year to be the champion without the belt. And I think that's so crucial. And I think Cody obviously embodies that. And I think he's been doing that since before he came back to WWE. And I think all of that was strategic because Cody is that guy that dresses for the job that you want, not the job that you have. And the dude even fucking going to Cracker Barrel is in a suit. So it's like it's not. That's why when people are like, when people say shit about his suit, like now in WWE, I'm just like, all right, well, maybe they didn't follow him outside of it, which makes sense, and it's fine. But I feel like this dude sleeps in suits, so it doesn't. That's just Cody, and I think that ties into obviously being the champion without the belt, and obviously when he gets the title, it's going to be even heavier. But Cody, he's that guy and he's the face. And that's why I'm gonna die on that hill. He should have won last year. And yes, I love the story that we're getting this year. But I think you still could have had a similar story and just tweaked it a bit. But he also gave credit to Michael Cole for the finish the story term coming to life, essentially, and bringing that term for him, which is pretty cool. Shout out there. But in regards to, and this is from Fightful, a tweet from Fightful, Cody Rhodes talks about conceding the main event to The Rock on SmackDown, that famous night now. He said, after I conceded the main event to The Rock, I still thought, I'm going to find my way there. I still thought that. It's one of the reasons I stayed dead silent. I didn't want to put an opinion on it. I don't want to get into the backstage details. What was out there is what was out there. I just felt like I was still going to make it. Then, thankfully, literally millions of people made it, so I did get it back. So, I mean, Cody's just that dude, like whether that's true or not, like he's great. um. Oh wait, hold on. It looks like Dustin will be there. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, no, I thought it was maybe an update on if Dustin Rhodes was going to be there, but not. And again, guys, by the time you see this, you probably already watched the Cody Rhodes interview anyway, so you probably already know. But I just wanted to hit a couple highlights here and just drop a quick video. And again, I'm hoping to get out some content. I'm not going to be able to. I got to get a new laptop first of all. So I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to record once I'm in Philly, but I'm going to try to figure it out. We'll see. TBD. If not, then I'll try to record something when I get back on Tuesday. But I'm not flying out until Saturday morning, early I said on Saturday morning. So I'll definitely be dropping at least one more video between now and then. Of course, that being the prediction show, which I'm super excited for. But yeah, I was pausing here because I was trying to see. Oh, that was the other thing, really quick, before I pop off here. Cody Rhodes was on First Take as well, which it looked like that was this morning, and he mentioned that if he doesn't finish the story, then he might as well just be on commentary. And then it goes on to just like explain like the good guys shit and stuff like that, and how it's called babyface and all that stuff. And Stephen A was like, commentary ain't that bad. And Cody was like, no, no, but then he went on with the explanation there. So definitely recommend checking that out. I'm gonna add that to my list here. I got so much shit to do and watch and catch up on. I definitely want to watch the Bray Wyatt documentary, but I want to, but I don't. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I've been kind of putting it off. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, maybe within the next week or so, I'll get around to watching that. But it's just gonna be a tough one, and I don't know when I'm gonna be ready for it. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for checking out the show. Again, I appreciate all the support and you guys just watching this little this little diary of me just spewing my opinions and in the world. There's so many people out there with channels and opinions and rest in the wrestling world. So I appreciate you guys just swinging by here and checking it out. Feel free to follow the show on Twitter at @kickashpodcast_. You can follow me on Twitter as well at ASHMANNS. But until next time, guys, I hope you have a great night and enjoy some wrestling. Be safe.